Good morning. Unhealthy air quality continues. Index at 154. Currently 62 and cloudy here in Milwaukee. Temperatures into the mid 80s as the afternoon moves along. Weather brought to you by Milwaukee Area Napa Auto Care Association.
Here's your host.
Good morning. This is your wake up call.
It's time to wake up, Wisconsin.
Wake me up! All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Here's your host, Josh Albrecht.
No, not really. It is not Josh Albrecht, but it is Aaron Morris. There he is, right there.
I'm here.
That's him. He's the anchor of this Wisconsin Wake Up Call program. My name is Tim Allen. Normally on Mondays, well, we'll just say Tim Allen coming up at 7 o'clock.
Yes. You are going to be here, but you don't get to talk for the next 58 minutes until 7 o'clock hits.
Then we can start.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, good morning. A weekend full of sports. I mean, you may think it's the downside of the sports calendar. Look at that Brewer series. What happened? Oh, a lot happened. We're going to get into all of that throughout the morning this morning. Wild Bill with a big swing and a big bat flip. Did you happen to see that yesterday, Aaron?
I was going to say, we had the post-game show together yesterday, so we were screaming together during a break. We had about a minute left in our break, and we were just screaming and then scrambling to get the audio. So I never really watched the bat flip because I was too busy screaming and grabbing the audio, but I watched it afterwards, and yeah, that bat probably went the highest a bat flip has ever gone before.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about celebrations and emotions in baseball, but I'm a big fan. And sometimes it can get a little bit out of hand occasionally. But most times I think when and this goes really to a lot of sports, most times when these athletes are celebrating, it's not rubbing things in. Now, sometimes it is. But most times it's not. It's just celebrating their success. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, there are some fans and maybe some teams that take issue with a pitcher coming off the mound and screaming and going banshee scream from Trevor McGill and fist pumping. And I'm not saying, Trevor Bauer coming out and just really going crazy on things, but most times it's just celebrating their success. And a lot of times, in the case of yesterday, I know it's our guy, but a bat flip like that had nothing to do with rubbing things into the Marlins. Zero.
Yeah, no, that's just straight excitement. I don't really have – I think there is definitely a line to cross for players. And many of them do not cross that line for me. Sometimes I do, but I don't think that line. I don't think he really came close to that line last night.
No, not at all. A 3-1 Brewers win to walk off the Marlins, sweep the Marlins, and the Brewers find themselves with 62 victories against 37 losses, and a lot more Brewers in the next 3 hours. So stick around for that. It's Tim Allen, Aaron Morris. It's the Wisconsin Wake Up Call. We're sitting here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. What else happened?
Hey, what happened?
Well,
yeah,
the World Cup final yesterday, right?
It was Spain over Argentina, and I was all over every minute of this FIFA World Cup.
You watched every game?
1-0 in extra time. Is that what they call it?
Yes, extra time. So you have the stoppage time. That's the extra minutes you give for all the delays that happen during a half of play. Extra time is like overtime.
Okay.
So they go 2 15-minute periods for overtime, and
it's not sudden death.
Correct. Because if you don't score in that 30-minute time period, then you go to penalty kicks.
Oh, gotcha. So 2 extra times of 15
Yes.
each.
Yeah.
And, and then you go to a penalty kickoff.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So if Spain didn't score in that first 15-minute period, we would have had some penalty kicks coming our way.
The last week or two, I've been just casually flipping around the dial, both locally and nationally, and hearing conversations. Hell, that's the trade I'm in, is sports talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd flip around, and whenever it came to soccer conversation, it's just, I'm entertained by this. Suddenly, everyone's the soccer expert. It's just crazy. And I'm not going to name names or anything, but
right.
Again, both locally and nationally. Hey, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I totally understand it. And it's a big thing. It's just not a big thing for me. I was not going to, throughout all of this, there was no way that I was going to jump on the air and act like I knew what I was talking about. And you could tell, at least I could, being in this industry, and maybe not as an audience member, but in the industry, I could tell when these guys are just trying to act cool. I got my soccer stuff figured out. Yeah, you won't talk soccer again for years. Knock it off.
Until 4 years from now, when the World Cup is hosted by Spain.
Okay, just learn something. This is every 4 years.
Every 4 years, yep.
Different continent, different country.
Yeah.
Switches.
So it's just like any other North American sport. You put your bid in, right? World Series or not World Series, Super Bowl. In terms of, hey, we want to host.
Mm-hmm.
And so then FIFA decides who's hosting that game.
But I won't minimize the World Cup. It's huge.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. It's big, and I know the wagering world is all into it too, and that's probably what I should have done.
I was going to say that's how you can get into it.
Yeah,
is do the wagering side of it. Then you're a little more invested. Then you're a little more
into it.
Yeah, and you kind of have to be into it. You kind of have to learn about what's going on if you're putting money on it.
I did that years ago, probably 20-ish years ago. Used to hate NASCAR. Could not stand NASCAR. Didn't understand it. Much the same as soccer for me right now. And then I decided to get into this fantasy NASCAR league.
Okay.
Actually, Sparky got me into that. And, you pick 8 drivers, and you get those 8 drivers. You got a salary cap. You pick those 8 drivers. That's all you do all season. You are stuck with 8 drivers the entire year. You don't change it by the week. You cannot make trades. There are no free agents. You can't drop a driver and pick one up. 8 drivers. That's it. And I love it. I absolutely love NASCAR. Yeah, no, it's and again, there's not a lot of money involved in here. I think it's $15 to get in. And so I grabbed 3 different teams. And I've done that, 3 different fantasy NASCAR teams for a long time, couple of decades here. And speaking of which, NASCAR, that's what happened over the weekend.
Hey, what happened?
It was Joey Logano getting the win. Denny Hamlin was second. Chase Briscoe in the 3 spot. But again, just those of you that follow NASCAR, you're really into it. Track bar adjustments and 2 tires versus 4 tires, splash of fuel versus this, or I think it's, again, what got me into it and why I know those terms is because I got into it and have a little vested interest. Occasionally, on some of my trips to Vegas, I will drop some money on that weekend's NASCAR race. You can get really good value in NASCAR. Super, super lucrative.
Why is that, do you think? Is it because people don't know as much?
Maybe, but 40 odd drivers, and especially on a big race, a fast track, a lot can happen.
Yeah.
Think about toward the end there where they're just cars sideways, on the final lap.
Yeah. Guys trying to make their move.
That's right.
Yep. A little too aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think, at the time years ago, I was really going with a guy like Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he was on fire for a while. And I would, occasionally his odds are like 8-1 to win the race. That's good value right in his heyday. This is really good value, but you never know in NASCAR when things are going to wipe out and you go an extra lap or two and white flag and white checkered and all of that stuff.
Especially because some of these guys, if they're getting wiped out, it's sometimes not their issue, right? So you could get 8-1 on Jimmy Johnson, but he never completes the race because someone just totals him, right?
Yeah, someone else is sideways in front of him, and he's like, "Oh man, really?" NASCAR. Joey Logano takes checkered. What else happened?
Hey, what happened?
Golf.
Mm-hmm. A great
the British
tournament.
Open. Yeah,
it ended up being a really good tournament. Ryan Fox birdied 18, so about as clutch as you can get, and he looked super calm. It took him from the time I saw a video, from the time that Sam Burns, who was his playing partner yesterday, had his putt fall in the hole. It took Ryan Fox 22.23 seconds to putt his tournament winning putt. So it was very quick. He just went up there, he read the putt, he set his feet, and he nailed it.
Ryan Fox. So is he one of the better golfers on the tour?
I wouldn't say so. He's definitely a name that if you follow golf, he's a quality golfer. He's not, some random dude winning this, but he's certainly, I'll try to find his odds, but he certainly wasn't anywhere near the leaderboard, the top of the leaderboards in terms of favorites.
Speaking, and I know people way into golf, and it's right smack in the middle of golf season. Probably there might be some of our listeners right now getting ready to go do 9 or 18. I know there's a lot of golf trips that are just seemingly becoming more and more abundant. A lot of travel packages down to Myrtle Beach and things like that, just going on a golfing trip. That I don't recall that years ago. It's just becoming more and more. You wrap a casino into it, and I know there's a lot of local that do that as well. But golfing, I know my kids into it big time and spending a lot of money on golf.
It's an expensive sport. Yeah.
Ooh, man. I remember when I did golf, I think I quit all physical activity. But when I did golf, one of the years we were in Arizona for spring training, we thought, let's go golfing. And it was I don't know, a PGA sort of golf course or whatever. And I always wondered, well, why we can't get tee times at early in the morning and late in the day, and we're like, well, why is it? Look at this. Everyone's got openings at noon, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, no one goes early afternoon.
Brewers because it's so freaking hot. That's why, and we found that out.
Yeah,
and but it was. Now, again, this was many years ago. It was $165. Now, I know I want to pay as little as I can for everything. Call me cheap if you want. That's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, when you go into a retail shop or groceries or whatever you're buying, wouldn't you want to pay as little as possible without being a jerk about it?
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. No, Yeah, for sure.
That is me. So $165. I thought, oh man, that's way too much because I'm used to the Muni courses. You know, when I was playing the game, the Muni courses, $15, and then the extras for a card or whatever. But $165 for that round of golf, and apparently now you fast forward to now, that wouldn't be that bad, would it?
No, not if you're playing at a really, really nice course. I mean, most of them. I mean, what you're talking the munis now, you're gonna have a tough time finding something with a cart for 18 under $50.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I'm gonna pass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Now,
Call me cheap. That's fine.
Yeah, there's certainly courses where you can find a little less, but most, I mean, if you're looking at an any bit decent course, you're gonna have about $60 on your hands.
It is a healthy habit, and I understand that it really is, and you're moving and you're stretching and walking and a lot of that, and it's the art of competition, entertainment. I'd prefer to spend my $50-$60 on other things, gambling.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my entertainment. Go to a Brewers game. That's where I would be at, or just hang out at the casino for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own, right? I mean, some people would say, "Oh, gambling. Why would I ever do that with my money?" And some people, like you, say, "Why would I go golfing, or why would I spend that much money on golfing?" Or some people, whatever it may be. Everyone has their hobbies and things, right? And
I've mentioned this in the past too. Those of you getting ready to golf today with your buddies, no mulligans, no gimmies. You don't get the 4-inch putt. You don't get that given to you.
the one thing I do is the breakfast ball. So first tee,
no,
you get a second tee shot if it goes crazy.
I've mentioned this before. We've done topics on it. How do you measure how good you're getting then? If you're grabbing, just do it again type of deal.
Just the one shot, just your first shot of the day. That's the breakfast.
The old breakfast. Yeah.
Yep. That's the only one I do. Yeah. Especially if you're not warming up on the range before the round. Like if you just show up and you get on that first tee. Yeah. You for me, it's you get a breakfast ball and then we're playing it out the rest of the way.
Are you a golfer?
I wouldn't say I'm a golfer, but I do enjoy golfing. I would say my dad's a golfer. My dad is a really good golfer, but I don't golf as much as I wish I could. Part of it's the price.
Speaking of golf, a good friend of mine called yesterday. Him and his wife. We had a conversation as soon as we got off the air. Yesterday on the post-game show, as a matter of fact, all giddy. They were on one of the wagering sites,
and
he won because of Ryan Fox.
Really?
He won $11,000.
I was going to say, I'm trying to find this. I think he was like the 57th best odds.
$11,000. And he was just this shy of the first place, the 50 grand. But don't care about that.
Yeah.
11 grand.
Oh, man.
What a hit. They were fired up. He's going to buy some new irons now for his golf game. Good for you. Good for you. I won't name names. I don't know if they want me to say anything, but 11 grand on, I think it was DraftKings maybe.
Yeah. Fox birdied 2 of his last 3 holes, and he birdied 4 of his last 6 in order to win. So
think of the excitement. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see your guy coming on and you're looking at, and I've been there too. I've been ranked real high on my football stuff. I usually don't do the full weekend of DraftKings or FanDuel, whatever. Take your pick. There's a bunch of them. But I usually only play the night games. And I'll just go in the captain mode. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you pick a captain on your 6 players or whatever, and you get a 1.5 for each point. and that's your captain. But I've been really close right down the stretch. But man, does it change on a 3-yard cloud of dust kind of run? It changes so quickly that I try not to get wrapped up into it. You know, some of my buddies have been, hey, I'm $6,000 right now. I'm in the 6,000 position.
Yeah.
And there's 7. You know, you can't, it just moves. Just
Yeah.
every yard moves it. It's crazy, but congratulations to those guys. $11,000. That is what happened. What else happened? I think we got one more.
Yeah, I think we got something
Hey,
else.
what happened? So I've been following along lightly to this Brandon Ayuk saga.
Yes.
I'm a huge NFL fan, but what's his scorched earth deal here?
Well, I think he's got some major form of Antonio Brown CTE. I think that's the main problem.
I mean, it's too bad. From what I understand, you know, in my following of it is that, you know, Lynch, the GM, tried to talk to him on several occasions. And then it was offensive because you didn't answer your call to your boss, by the way, just saying, Brandon. And then he goes to your house because you weren't answering calls, and that's an infringement on your territory. You take you take offense to that? Dude's trying to talk to you about your situation. He made you might be surprised, Ayuk, on how your bosses are accepting of you being a little having some issue with this.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just talk about it?
Well, I'm sure also Lynch going to his house is just making sure he's okay, right? If he's
Well,
not
that
answering his call,
yeah,
right?
you know what? I thought about that, and that may have been a Lynch, you know, kind of built in. You know, I'm right, and I was just checking on his well-being. So yeah, that could have been that, but I think maybe more so than that, it was trying to do some business with your employee,
right? Yeah.
So what
sure.
else did? So he went scorched earth again over the weekend.
Yeah,
right?
he posted on his Instagram page. I'll read this. Stick with me here because you know it's not.
It's
some
not
hieroglyphics.
essay.
Yeah, it's not an essay. Yeah. Here is Brandon Ayuk on his Instagram story. Coach want me to come back so I can draw all the coverage and make it easy for the guys that remind him of himself from back in his heyday.
Oh, come on.
Then he says, people have career years when 11 on the O. He's 11. He's saying the offense. Everybody eat no kizzy. I can't tell you what no kizzy
Well, hold
means.
on. Everybody eat no kizzy?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know what no kizzy means, but I'm going to guess it means like no doubt, like you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I hold a NFL record for making plays with the least amount of opportunities. I don't know what that NFL record is.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I'm looking for my op because I'm gun capitalize and win a bowl. That's a Super Bowl, I believe.
I'm going to capitalize and win a Super Bowl.
Yep. I'm not going to fumble it away. I'm done playing the back seat to folks who not like that. Hashtag true story. Hashtag free you.
Listen, I like the confidence. I like Brandon Ayuk as a wide receiver also. But, dude, chill out a little bit. You can look back in 10, 15. Who am I to? I mean, look, yeah, I'm not in that situation, but I would just suggest maybe a mild suggestion that you may regret this down the line and you may be costing yourself millions of dollars. You just might.
Yeah.
We'll see how it shakes out, but it's wildly entertaining. I'll tell you that. For me,
he's got the Antonio Brown syndrome. That's what I'm going to call it.
You know, you want your stud wide receiver because I think he falls into somewhat that category. I think you want them to be cocky. You know, the good ones are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They have, most wide receivers have that diva mentality, and usually it's because they're really good and they just want to show that they're really good. They want the ball, right? And at some point you have to be okay with it. But this is over the top. I mean, this guy is I legitimately do not think he is thinking straight at all, and I think he's got a major form of CTE. I believe that to be the case.
Could be. So that is what's happening. We'll get more into the Brewers here in just a couple of minutes here. Over the weekend, we did get news that Woody is going to go under the knife again, another shoulder surgery. And it just, that's too bad. I feel for the dude. We'll hear from Brandon Woodruff on the other side. Good morning. It's a Monday morning. It's the Wisconsin wake-up call. No Josh Albrecht today. There's Aaron Morris, Tim Allen. Just hanging out, talking sports on a Monday morning here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Mornings can all start to feel the same, so if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's Breakfast. Try a breakfast Baconator with fresh cracked eggs and crispy bacon, a grilled sausage or bacon breakfast burrito, or maybe even a honey buddy. And don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes. Doesn't matter what you go for, it's going to change your life. Okay, well, it'll at least freshen up your morning. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? Gotta be Wendy's.
Aaron Morris right there. He's the mainstay on the Wisconsin wake-up call. Josh Albrecht off today. He is back tomorrow, I would assume. No? Yes?
Yes, he is back tomorrow.
Okay. My name is Tim. I was thinking about this during the break. Got another text from a buddy of mine. Don't forget about my $5,000 that I hit. Okay, I didn't forget about you. What is Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250 throughout the morning this morning? What's the most you've ever won wagering on sports? Now, we would recommend the Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee, but there's a lot of fine casinos around the state. Sports, or really, maybe it's a slot machine, or you got on a blackjack run at some point, whether it was in Vegas or here. What's the most you've ever won in like one shot? What about you, Aaron? I take it you're not a big sports gambler.
I don't hate it. I don't, but I just haven't really got into it enough to, to continue doing it. I just randomly, I'll just kind of whatever, do some small stuff, but I haven't really got into it too much in my lifetime to say that I really have any big winnings.
Bigger loads for me on fantasy football leagues, for sure. I think the most I've won on the DraftKings or whatever on fantasy is 140-ish, somewhere in there. So that's not bad because I'm Penny Annie. The night, as I told you in the first segment, just the night games, and I'll do $2 here, $1.50 here. And you can still win a whole bunch of money on that stuff. I love that game. Especially on night games. But I did hit for $4,000 on a slot machine. I've hit 5 royal flushes on video poker, which is a grand apiece. So what's the most you guys have ever won in a sort of a one-shot deal? We'll check that Nicolay Law talk and text line at 414-677-1250. And I bring this up because a good friend of mine, her husband hit for $11,000 on the Open yesterday because of Ryan Fox. So, you can hit us up for that stuff. All right, so over the weekend, Brewers, we'll get more into that Wild Bill walk-off yesterday. But Brandon Woodruff announced, and we knew this was somewhat that it was going to be bad news. They kind of prefaced it on Friday, and Woody was going to talk to the media on Sunday, and then it got to be his bobblehead giveaway on Saturday, and he thought, well, I'm just going to take care of business and let people know what's going on. And here's what he had to say on Saturday. It was a bit of bad news for the Brewers and Woody.
I know yesterday the announcement seemed like I was having a funeral, or like I was going to announce retirement or something, and that's not it at all. And I've got to have surgery. It's unfortunate, and for me personally, I've got to go ahead and attack this rehab with the goal in mind of pitching again. So. This is something I've got to have regardless if I'm 50 years old or right now. So for me to continue my career and keep playing, I've got to go ahead and get it done. And, doesn't take away the fact that it sucks because I've done everything I can to go pitch. But it's the nature of the game. I'm not happy about it, but it's a beautiful thing where this has all kind of come at a time for me when my third child just came. We had an all-star break, and I had time to really sit down and think about this. But yeah, I'm not having a funeral or anything. I know yesterday with the announcement, it kind of seemed, and I saw some stuff on the TV where this was supposed to be some type of big deal, but no, that's it. I'll have to have surgery.
Woody, can you share what the surgery is going to be and what the injury is?
Yeah, same, capsules, damage to the capsule again, same one I had, surgery on in 23. There's a, couple other things that are going on that's not the real issue. The real issue is the capsule. I'll have to get it fixed and then, go from there.
Does that mean pitching again? Does that mean 2027 and beyond?
I haven't even thought about timelines. The good news is I know exactly what this rehab entails. I'm never closing the door on pitching. Like I'm getting this with the intention of rehabbing and taking care of that and being able to pitch again. But as far as like when that is, I mean, it's what I haven't even looked at the dates. It's July. So like, what does that look like? I'm looking at trying to get this done within the next month or so. As far as the timeline outlook, I haven't looked that far ahead in terms of, if that means pitching next year or, beyond that. So.
Woody, was this something that has kind of been in the cards for a while? It wasn't like one pitch that you threw or anything that might have caused this. Do you know that, or can you answer that?
This is something you can, anytime you have shoulder issues like I've had, it's not easy. And truthfully, leading up before Arizona, I'd had a good week leading in between. I had nothing that indicated that what was going to happen on July the 4th in Arizona was going to happen. And honestly, I was in a good spot. I was throwing the ball well, felt fine. Obviously the velo hasn't been what it was before surgery, but I kind of knew that could be a possibility. And so I had no indications leading up to that night. It just was kind of a slow burn into the outing. First inning was fine. Started feeling a little bit in the second, and then the third and fourth. But my mind always, when I take the ball, if I'm, I think I mentioned this, the first time when I had the first go around against the Arizona back here at home, like if I'm not in pain or anything, like I'm going to take the ball. And that's just the way it's always been for me. I'm going to take the ball if I can take the ball, regardless of what's going on. It was just, it got to the point where I just couldn't really throw, and it's kind of the way I've always approached it. Like I'm going to throw until I can't. And, it got to the point where I couldn't throw.
For instance, it's kind of difficult where, your last two pitches or last two batters you pitched and you struck them both out and you pitched well, you just couldn't.
That's a great question because it really teaches not only myself. I think that's exciting. I'm glad you asked that. Like, no, I may not have the 98 anymore, but I can still pitch at, what it was this year, 90 to 93. There were some 88, 89s in there. And I know those last couple batters were like, it was 85, 86. But it taught me how you can change speeds, how you can move the ball around, and it's more location over stuff per se. So that's the exciting thing for me, going forward is like, I know I can go pitch. I would love to have 95 plus, but I've always prided myself on being a pitcher. And, it's almost, your brain works in a way where it's more fun getting guys out. Like I've had to get them out the last couple of years. So in terms of going forward for me, like it doesn't take the fact away that you can still go pitch at those velocities is, I guess, if that answers your question. that's just something you deal with, and when it gets there. But yeah, I've learned how to do that.
So like when you retired the first 16 batters a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
the next day or two after that, you say, I can still do this?
Oh yeah. There's never a doubt. When I take the mound, regardless of what that, I stopped looking at the radar gun a long time ago, and I try to look at what the hitter's telling me, and the hitter tells you everything you need to know. And I don't go into an outing thinking I'm going to do that. That kind of just happens. I try to just get lost in pitch execution and see where that takes me. But yeah, I always have a belief in myself that I can get guys out at the highest level, and regardless of the stuff. And I think I've proved to myself that I was able to do that. Yeah, there's never a doubt when I go take the ball that I don't feel like I can get guys out.
And I believe we have seen the last of Brandon Woodruff in a Brewers uniform, but you never know. I feel bad for the dude. I've had many, many conversations with him, and I can tell you this: you would all like that guy. Everybody likes it. Now, I'm not a beat reporter, so I'm not there every day, but I will say this: the many conversations I've had with him over the years have just been awesome. And I'm super happy for him. Last 3 years, he has made $42 million. So he got
Pretty
his.
good. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
he
it's pretty good.
did get his. The most electrifying sound of the day. Oh, I'll give you one guess what that might have been in yesterday's Brewer game. We'll have that for you. And also NFC North. Will it be a battle, or does the team run away with it? We've got that and a lot more coming up. It's the Wisconsin Wake Up Call here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. There is Aaron Morris, Tim Allen in for Josh Albrecht. Good morning.
It's time for
The most electrifying,
Sound of the Day,
the most electrifying.
brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Fly ball up center. It is back. It is gone. Say goodnight. What a little.
Well, there it is on Brewers TV. That was electrifying.
I would love to. The most electrifying sound of the day brought to you by Best Electric. If you need help, go to your friend in the business, Best Elect.
All right. And the Brewers get a walk-off 3-1 win. More on the Brewers coming up throughout the next couple of hours, so we'll get to that on the way. Also, what is the largest amount you've won sports wagering or just wagering in general?
We have a couple mentions already if you want to go to it. Yeah.
Sure. Nicolay Law talking. Text line 414-677-1250. For me, it hasn't been big money. My mother, horse, shoe, 4-leaf clover. She got on a roll one year, Aaron, that she won, let's see. She won a moped, trip to Vegas, a grill, one of these high-end gas grills. She had a contest at her local hangout for $22,000. This is all like within a year span.
Wow.
Bingo many times. Just some people just have that in them. And the reason I brought this up is because a good friend of mine, her husband hit on the Open yesterday, the golf tournament, 11,000.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. 414 says won $12,840 on a slot at Pato Nickel Machine.
Oh, sweet. 12 large.
That's awesome. Someone else says I took third in the 262, took third in a DraftKings basketball, 6 games for 1,000 out of like 7,000 people.
Nice.
Missed 3K by half a point and missed first by 1.25 points.
See how that works? I mean, a 4-yard run at the end of a football game.
Yeah. That's
or a sack.
Yep.
Or a kneel down. Think about that.
Oh,
that is unfair that a kneel down is minus the yardage. I don't like that rule at all in the NFL. You're conceding. Yeah. You're giving up.
Mm-hmm. Bob in Minneapolis says, what's your closest miss? Mine's a trifecta in horse racing. I put in the exact order of the top 3 horses instead of just picking the top 3 finishers.
Yeah.
Had the top 3 horses correct, but horse I picked in second was third, and the horse I picked for third was second. If I'd just done a normal trifecta, I would have won like $100,000.
Oh, man. Really? If you'd have try-boxed that thing? But then you're going triple money on the wage. Yeah, I could see that. We used to have a dog track, dog racing.
Okay.
In Kenosha. Yep. They were all over the state. That was a big thing for a while. I think there's only 1 or 2 left in the country. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I do play the Wisconsin lottery on a pretty regular basis. I do the evening draw, pick 3s and pick 4s. I love that pick 4. Man, for $1, you go 4 straight. It's $5K on $1. I mean, think about that. Give me 365 chances. I'll invest 365 for $5K for a year. But think about how difficult that is. And I do the pick 3 straight too, but that one is I sometimes box that one. A little bit better chance. But wow. Near misses, that's a good one too. You just never know. You never know. And just within your means, though, everybody within your means. All right, we're going to check the latest odds on the NFC North and see where your Green Bay Packers lie in that. What's good value in the North? We'll talk about it after the break here It's Wisconsin Wake Up Call. No Josh Albrecht today. Aaron Morris, Tim Allen here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Networks.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
It's time to wake up, Wisconsin.
Wake me up! All right, rise and shine, Sleeping Beauty. Come on, hop, hop, hop.
This is the Wisconsin Sports Wake Up Call on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Here's your host, Josh Albrecht.
All right, welcome in hour number 2 of the Wisconsin Wake Up Call, live here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Tim Allen in for Josh Albrecht, and there's Aaron Morse, the code.
All right.
Are we going to go with that?
Yeah, I was just wondering, where you want to go, because you called me the Iron Skillet like one of the first days that
we did.
We did together. Yeah,
I like the code. I don't
okay
know.
with that.
We'll see. Morse, as in Morse code. A lot of people think it's Morris code. But yeah, welcome in. It's hour number 2. Brewers conversation coming up in just a little while as well. Get into some football stuff. Also, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line at 414-677-1250. I love wagering stories. I do. I'm not a huge gambler, contrary to popular belief. I'm a Vegas nut job for sure. There's no doubt. I go mainly for the party and just relaxing and eat like a pig and drink like a fish and just kind of carry on a little bit. But I love the stories about winning in the wagering world, especially in sports, but it could be a slot machine or a good run on a craps table. 414-677-1250, Nicolay Law Talk and Text line.
I've got another good one on that.
What you got?
The 715 says I turned a free $10 chip on my birthday into $950.
Get out of here.
Blackjack, one-on-one with the dealer for 40 minutes. I never took $1 out of my pocket.
Oh, nice. See, now I would never win $900 on a blackjack table, because being the wimpy gambler that I am, I would never throw out there a $150 bet to hike that up to $900.
Yeah.
I think the last time this last trip to Vegas, I was at the Cosmopolitan, and it was a morning and had a couple of tequila and whatever I mixed with it in there. And let's play some blackjack. And I think I broke 100, and then I kind of freaked out when it got to about 3.25 and got out.
Yeah.
No, this is good enough for me.
Yep.
I'm good. And here I'm stashing chips in my pocket, and they don't like when you do that. It's not against the rules, but they want to see the color on the table. But I'll just palm a couple of chips and just lean back and just throw them in my pocket. So that way, at least I have a buffer there to do that. But I love those stories where the rewards play, that it's real. I mean, when you use that rewards card, wherever you might be gambling, it is real. When you get the rewards play, you can win on that. And thus right there, a free $10 in and 9 honey back. Ooh, love it. We'll get to more of those if you want to throw those out there. Let's see, what else have I done? I guess future bets last year. Those of you, longtime listeners of me, you've heard the story a million times. Last May 31st, Aaron, we're doing a live broadcast at Potawatomi Sportsbook, and it was, I remember this, May 31st, the odds of the Brewers to win their division on that day was plus 1,600. And I put $100 on it. And we all know what happened.
Yep.
Ran away with their division. We might check on the Brewers where they sit now. There's some value there. There's also some value in taking the Cubs. Now, I did hedge my bet. A lot of people didn't like I did that. I did bet on the Cubs just in case last year. just in case, and it just guaranteed me money.
Yeah. But yeah.
Um,
So you play the hedge. I know some people who are very anti hedging your bets.
My broadcast partner at the time hated it. My son was appalled by it because he's all or nothing.
Yeah.
He's upper 20s, and I think he'll be 30 next month. And he was just like, no, you stick with it. You're wasting your money. Well, I've got in your estimation, 1,600 plus your 100 back, $1,700 coming back. I couldn't invest another 100 in just in case.
Yeah.
Of course.
I have I haven't gone big enough money to where like hedging would be even a plausible option for me. So I'm trying to think of like how I would play that, but I would feel, I think I would, the reason why I think I would be so, or why I haven't really got into sports betting yet is because of like the sunk cost theory where my mind would just be like, but I could have won this. Right. Like, so if I'm hedging my bet and I'm, taking money away, I guess technically from my winnings, I'd be like, but I could have had that. I could. So I feel like I would have a real problem trying to figure that all out. But I think hedging your bets, I think that's a very smart way of going about it. Why would you not guarantee yourself a profit?
And I did get a lot of response like that too. And a lot of people said, wow, could you, Tim, of all people, you betting on the Cubs? Well, money, it's it's guaranteed money either way. I mean, I did invest another $100 in our Brewers. I think I got them in the division plus 275. So that's looking good too. Now, will I hedge on something like that?
Probably not. Yeah. The different kind of bet, right?
I also have the Blue Jays to win the AL. Ooh, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about that one, but who knows? You never know. These futures, think about the futures. You pick a paired Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl just to appear. Ooh, man. I mean, think about it. Just think about some of the futures in the NFL. I love doing that. And then you never know. Look at this NFC North, for example. You could make an argument. Now, it depends on the way you look at this. You could make an argument for all four of the teams, couldn't you? To win the division.
Yeah.
Now, the outlier would be the Vikings, I think.
I would agree. Yes.
Without jinxing that, I think the Minnesota Vikings with their changes, still they've got some key components that might allow them to get on a little run. But I think at this point, you're looking at the Vikings. I think every year there's a Cinderella or two in the NFC and AFC.
Yep.
There's one or two in each of the conferences that you would take a step back and say, wow, they got a cook in here.
Well, it happens every year where a team in a division finishes fourth and then the next year finishes first. It's how the NFL works, right? The parity of the NFL. And like basically every year it happens.
So what do we have on the Minnesota Vikings? Kyler Murray brought in. And again, key component would be Justin Jefferson, and those two can get going. And you never know. I mean, interdivision games are tough, and they're gonna play you. But where are they at in the North?
Well, I think they are comfortably the fourth best team in the North. Potawatomi has them at plus 525 right now, which would also be the case.
And there's only 4 teams in the North.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, these odds aren't crazy. I mean, it's not a crazy big gap between first and second, and second and third and fourth. But the Vikings are definitely, according to Potawatomi, the
longest
odds, and it's by a decent bit.
Yeah, and there's value there. And again, somebody listening in the northern part of the state right now is like, I don't know, man. Those Vikings, they're okay. They're a little bit better than you think. I mean, plus 525, 5.2 to 1. That's going to be that's kind of a long shot for a division.
But it's the last place team, right? If I'm looking at the NFC South has the Panthers and Falcons both at plus 340, but that's, the Buccaneers and Saints are ahead of them. So that's tighter. Otherwise, the Vikings are have the best odds of any fourth place team in any division in football. The Giants are plus 550 is the next closest.
So there's your value.
Otherwise, we're looking at plus thousands for some of these last place teams.
Yeah, and there's your value in the North would be the Minnesota Vikings. Now, when we get to the Bears here, the Bears are, I think we could say, trending up. I think, right?
Yeah. I think it's tough. I think like the Vikings, some people are saying with the Vikings, hey, they won 9 games last year and they started Max Brosmer for, 5 of those games. And they didn't really have their quarterback situation figured out. Now they have Kyler Murray in.
Mm-hmm.
I would counter with saying, well, they probably overachieved by a couple of games, the Vikings last year.
And then
they probably
to
weren't
offset
that good.
that would be Kyler Murray.
Right. So they're basically back where they were at an
That's
8
right.
or 9 win team is kind of how I would view that. I think the Bears kind of similarly, I just think that they overachieved a little bit last year. I think they hit a nice stretch, right? They rode the wave. They rode their momentum very nicely. But I think part of that is sometimes we see these teams jump up and, out of nowhere kind of. And then the next year they kind of just stay put and we're like, oh, what happened? Why didn't they continue? Well, the Bears might have been a year early, I think. And now in this next year, I tend to think that teams just kind of stay at where they were a year early. If the pattern of how you progress continues, I guess. So I think the Bears will probably be as good as they were last year. I don't expect them to be better.
Well, here's why I don't think they'll be better. And here's why. Let me throw some of these metrics at you here. Wild card. They win 31-27. They were down 27-16 with 6:36 remaining. Win probability was 4.6%. Okay?
Yep.
Week 16, a 22-16 win. Bears were down 16-6 with 5:43 left. Win probability, 3%. Week 11, Bears 19, Vikings 17. Down 17-16, 56 seconds left. Win probability, 24.9%. Week 10, Bears over the Giants, 24-20. Down 20-10 with 10-10 left. Win probability at that point was 9.2%. Week 9, 47-42, that shootout over the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
They're down 42-41 with 52 seconds left. Win probability there, 23%. This is unbelievable. Week 6, Bears over the Commanders, 25-24. They were down 24-16 with 3:28 left. Win probability at 15%. Week 4, Bears 25, Raiders 24. They're down 24-19 with 6:45 to play. Their win probability was 26%. You're not going to do that again.
It's like one-run baseball games, right? If you play really well in one-run games in a season, the next season you're probably not going to do as well. Or that's generally how it goes.
I didn't study it to where I could pinpoint the year, but I do recollect the New York Giants. Want to say it was an Eli Manning kind of season, but they had I want to say 8 or 10 of these, just like the Bears, comeback, miracle kind of finishes. And the very next year they were awful because they didn't get that. You can't count on this. I think the Bears are somewhat trending up, and I think they'll be a little bit more solid team. But if the Bears are depending on these miracle finishes, they better think again, because that's a rarity. When you look at the win probabilities on 7 games, I just rattled off 7 situations in which, really go 4-3 or 3-4, and you'd be doing all right in those situations. They got all 7. I just don't believe that that's going to happen again. Now, will they come out and just onslaught people? I guess it's possible. I don't think they improve that much. Their defense is, I think, a little questionable for me.
Yeah, they're not going to be better than 11-6, which is what they were last year, right? They can get to 11 again, but they're not getting the 12 wins.
Not how they did it last year.
Yeah.
So what do we have the Bears at in the North at Potawatomi?
The Bears are plus 310. They are the 3rd place team according to Potawatomi.
Okay, and that's, you know what? That's about where I would have them too, because I do like the Detroit Lions. Now, when we get to the Lions here, I think that they're being underrated. I do. No one's really fearing or talking about the Detroit Lions. They're well coached. Their offense is as legit as you're going to get. Key players in the key positions. They've got the big 3. We all know who those are. Jared Goff, you better not sleep on him. Threw 32 touchdowns last year. Didn't seem like that, did it?
No.
Seemed like Detroit was just awful, and they're bad. There's value there. Where are they at in the North?
They are actually the 1st place team. They're the betting favorites at plus 160.
I'm sorry, run that by me again.
They're at plus 160. They are the favorites according to Potawatomi.
That's where I would have them, and no knock on Green Bay. Now, Green Bay, here's where some value is. You talk about value with the Brewers in the division. Where are the Pack?
They're at plus 230.
That is good. And here's why. If they don't win the division, they'll be right there. In other words, you throw a little down on Green Bay to win their division. You're more than doubling your money, but you know one thing, for the most part, again, crazy things can happen. I'm not the expert in gambling football. I just go off what I know and what's in front of us. You know one thing, with 2 or 3 weeks remaining, they'll have a shot. It's not like that wager would be defunct at week 7. Not happening. So you know they'll be right there. This is going to be a close race. And who knows? Then the Bears might be right there too. You could make the same argument there for the Bears. In other words, with 3 weeks to play, all 3 of those teams could win that division.
Yeah, I'm not counting the Bears out.
No, I agree. But that's where you want to be when you make the wager. When you make the future wager, you just want a shot at the end there. Of course, you'd like to run away with it and lock it up with 2 or 3 weeks remaining. It doesn't appear that's, in a tightly contested division. Those things don't happen. The head-to-head matchup and the tiebreakers and all of those things come into play the final 3 weeks of the year. And the value on Green Bay is tremendous. Now, again, Detroit, there's not a ton of value there. I'm surprised at that line, though.
I think a big reason why they're probably the favorite and why people are putting money down on them is because they finished 4th place last year in the NFC North.
Okay.
So they get the advantage of playing the 4th place schedule. So they get to play those extra games, whereas like the Bears and the Packers are going to have to play a little tougher teams when you flip around, because right, everyone plays the equal to that division that they're playing. So like the Lions have games against the Saints, Jets, Panthers, Cardinals, Dolphins, Titans, and Giants this year. I mean, those should be, you should probably win most of those, if not all of them. Probably you're not going to win all of them, but that's an easy group of teams.
And in the wagering world, you're playing the number then.
Right.
You're just playing the point spread. In other words, look at that based on that schedule. And I know gamblers that do this. Right across the board, they will put $100 on every game. Let's say Detroit, for example, on every game minus the points.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll a lot of times come out ahead on a schedule like that without it blind wagering, because things can happen, injuries, Cinderellas, a key fumble here and there, garbage time TD to cut into the spread. But a lot of times on a schedule like that, they'll take one of those teams or two of those teams and just go across the board. They know they're going to win some. Gambling on football, for me, I don't even look at the spread right away. I just look at the game and take the favorite. A lot of times, take the favorite, and all you're trying to do is beat the points.
Yeah. Yep.
So Detroit might be one of those. I may entertain that idea with Detroit, and then just if they lose, then Green Bay is going to get the advantage, and so you win on the other side. So there's that emotional kind of thing too. But in this North, Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago should be right there. Really, the moral of the story here is that if you take any one of them, you're going to have a shot toward the end. And when you're slicing and dicing and splitting hairs and things like that, that's when I don't know. To me, that takes the fun out of it. When you're looking at, some of these guys are really good at what they do, and make no mistake, some of the wagering shows that are out there, and you guys see them in the podcast and things like that, and the sharps, and they all like to know what they're doing, and a lot of them do, and they will pick trends and they will pick matchups, and they'll say, well, this defensive secondary isn't that, so you bet the over. All of those things. You can get so deep into this thing. Sometimes if you break it down to, hey, I think the Pack's going to have a chance at this thing at the end. At worst, they will have a shot toward the end. That's where I'm at. Just give me a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all four of these teams are probably going to have having a chance to win the division with 4 weeks to play, 5 weeks.
I would
to
say
play, and
3 or 4 weeks to play.
I think the Vikings will probably drop out of that, and you'll have 3 teams. I think probably with 2 games to play. I think all 3 Lions, Packers, and Bears will all have some chance, even if they need 5 things to go right in order for them to win. I think all 3 of those teams with 2 weeks to go, 2 games to go, I think we'll have a chance to win the division.
And the NFL schedule knows this. The schedule makers, they know this. And that's why they back half a lot of these interdivision games. They will do that because of what we were just talking about. You will have a chance unless you're the Vikings. Just kidding. Sort of. I'm intrigued by the Minnesota Vikings. I am. Kyler Murray's been known. He's had a window of time or 2 in his career where he's looked pretty good. If he comes back Cinderella style, who knows? You never know. All right, stick around. More on the way. It's the Wisconsin wake-up call. No Josh Albrecht today. Tim Allen, Aaron Morris, just keeping you company until Josh is back tomorrow here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios.
Mornings can all start to feel the same, so if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's Breakfast. Try a breakfast Baconator with fresh cracked eggs and crispy bacon, a grilled sausage or bacon breakfast burrito, or maybe even a honey buddy. Don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes. Doesn't matter what you go for, it's going to change your life. Okay, well, it's at least going to freshen up your morning. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? Gotta be Wendy's. Reminded all those listening on the radio dial, you can watch the Wisconsin Wake Up Call on the Growth Law video stream on Instagram Live, X, and YouTube at WI Sports Radio. Injured growth gets it.
It's the Wisconsin Wake Up Call. Tim Allen and Aaron Morse in for Josh. Well, at least I am. And he's back tomorrow morning, so no fears. I'll be hanging out with you, Aaron, at the top of the hour for the Steve Zabin show as well. We'll get you to 9 o'clock, 9 to noon with Kuhn, Rami, and John in. And, man, it is a good show. Check it out. If you haven't checked it out, it's coming up at 9 o'clock today.
They always make me laugh.
Yeah.
Always at some point.
Yeah, I enjoy our conversations with those guys. They have me on once a week. I really do. Look forward to that. Although I may have to skip it next week, called for jury duty. Oh, I love it. Please, please give me a trial. You give me a trial. I last time I did jury duty, I did get a trial. And I loved it. I don't know how a dude in the media got a trial, but he did. And I'm hoping the same thing. It's sports, or at that time I was doing country radio. So it wasn't news based at all. But yeah, that's coming up next week for me. A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. They do not like it.
I was hoping it'd be a federal jury. That would be fun.
I'm rooting for you.
I know. I want a good one.
Yeah, you're excited about this, so I'm rooting for you.
Super excited about it. I mean, I know a lot of people you can say a couple of magical sentences and get yourself out.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people do. They just don't want to deal with the hassle. I don't mind it. It's some sitting around, that's for sure. And you get paid for it.
That's true. Yep.
I don't know what you get paid.
You get lunch.
Bucks. Do you?
Do you? I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't think I got anything. I don't think I got any perks. I know there was some little disagreement we had. Not me. Believe me, I stayed out of it because they were fighting over something in the trial. But all right. So just to finish up on wagering, what's your biggest hit or your biggest closest call in the wagering world in sports? What you got?
Yeah, and the 414 says, I found $100 at work, went and bought two $20 lottery tickets and won $300.
Ooh, sweet. Nice.
Yeah.
Take
How
that.
about that. I found $300 at work.
I was reading a story the other day about someone, a scratch off. He won like 3 years ago. He won $1.5 million and then bounced right back 3 years later with $1.2 million.
Ugh.
Oh, come on. That's my mother. That would be her.
You know, I'd say
she won $1,000 on a $1 scratch ticket one year.
I would say, what are the odds of that guy winning it again? But also, it's the odds are there. It's got to happen at some point, right? For someone to win twice.
Speaking of which, last month, as you guys know, the Brewers were in Las Vegas. And I went, and I was way impressed with the amount of Brewer fans in that city. My goodness. It was really, really cool to see. Now, you know, once with this schedule, the way Major League Baseball has it, the Brewers are going to be in Las Vegas every couple of years. How about that?
Yeah, and you're going to be there every time, right?
Please let it be right in the middle of the season, June or July. because then it won't affect my fall trip to Vegas or the Super Bowl trip to Vegas. So I can squeeze in another one that much closer to 100. I'm at 86 trips to Las Vegas at the moment, 13 to go for the magical 100th trip. And I've talked about this before. It might be self-serving here, but I'll just let you know. I want to be on the plane for my 100th trip to Vegas, and all I want is the flight attendant to say, "And we'd like to welcome in Mr. Tim over here in seat number 19. He is making his 100th trip to Vegas." And then, yay! That's all I want.
I
That's
think
it.
you can make that happen.
That's all I want.
All you got to do is when you walk onto the plane, all you got to do is talk to one of the flight attendants and just say, "Hey, could you shout me out? My 100th trip." I think they would do it.
One of my band buddies, guitar playing buddies, Dwight, he's a pilot for United. He would do it as the pilot. I'll bet if I got on one of his junkets to Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm sure. So I was looking at the Brewers schedule for next season that had dropped over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and I been contemplating here as of late to do one of these road trips. So eyeballing, I think it was July 2nd, 1st or 2nd, Brewers 3-city longest road trip of the year.
Yep.
They start in Cincinnati. They will then go to Washington, D.C., and then they'll come back to Cleveland.
Yes.
Now, it really, Cleveland and Cincinnati, do they really kind of, raise your eyebrows and tourist destinations? Maybe when it comes to the Brewers. Maybe. Think about this. Would you be interested in that sort of trip? Spend a night or two in Cincinnati, have some chili, see the Brewers take on the Reds for a game or two. After the game, get on a flight to Washington, D.C. for the 4th of July in your nation's capital. Think about that. Check out the Nationals and Brewers series. After that, get back on a plane, zip into Cleveland, and go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and see the Guardians Brewers.
Yeah, so the one thing that's an issue is that the dates are a little off. So the Brewers will be in Cincinnati still on the 4th of July.
Ooh, they will. Yeah, we'll have to get out of
So
there to get to D.C.
Yeah, so they have the weird thing. I've seen this, the MLB has done this over the past couple of years. They'll go 4-game series that start on Friday.
Yeah, wraparound, it's called.
And it'll end on Monday. So that's what they're doing with the Reds there. So they'll go July 2nd through the 5th in Cincinnati,
So
and then the
2nd
6th
and
through
3rd.
8th.
So there you go. You go 2nd and 3rd in Cincy, and then get to D.C. for that 4th of July fireworks and the touring and all that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, one of these days I have to see some Washington, D.C. fireworks.
And then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back into Cleveland.
Yeah,
sounds
not
fun to
bad.
me.
Not bad.
Would you go?
Yeah, I feel like I would have to, or I would want to do it if they were in DC on the 4th, but maybe that's being too picky.
That might be.
Yeah, I might be being too picky here.
But a
But I
3-city
would do it.
road
It's-
trip?
Yeah, it's not bad. The one I need to do is I need to go to Pittsburgh. I need to go and see PNC. I think that might be my favorite park in the entire league.
Except right before the All-Star break.
Except right before the All-Star break,
Yeah,
correct?
which they don't have next season.
Yes.
They're not going to Pittsburgh before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that
next
All-Star
year.
break, actually, that series, that trip you're talking about would butt up to the All-Star
To
break.
the All-Star break, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if folks would, and I would go. I'd go with a bunch of Brewers fans. Wouldn't be all that expensive, would it?
I don't think so.
I mean, it's domestic travel. It's, a lot of sightseeing.
Cincinnati and Cleveland, in Ohio, it's not New York or LA or anything like that.
We can stay right at the hotel right down the street from the
Yeah.
Hard Rock Casino in Cincinnati. Walking distance.
There you go.
We
You've
could
got
meet
it all
there.
planned out.
Oh, I do. We could meet there for dinner and some carrying on. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've never been. I would love to see that. So that obviously in Cleveland, and then DC. I've never been to DC. Flying in or out, just haven't been there at all. That'd be super sweet. 3-city tour. Would you go? 414-677-1250. Or would it? That's the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Or would you want to do it more of a? Hell, Tim, prefer to go see the Brewers in San Diego and lay on a beach. Go to Old Town.
Yeah, they've got a Padres Dodgers back-to-back series in June.
Yeah, how about going to LA and San Diego? A little Southern Cal action.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm trying to find some other ones. I don't know if they've got any great, road trip series. Maybe Seattle, Colorado would maybe be a little interesting.
Colorado would be way cool.
Yeah. I haven't
for
been,
many reasons.
I've been to Seattle's park. I haven't been to Coors, but that would be a cool trip, I think.
Oh, do a little horseback riding, mountain climbing. Hit
Otherwise,
some retail stores, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean. Otherwise, I don't know if they have any great road trips. In terms of like ones that you want to go back-to-back series at a cool place.
LA, San Diego sounds good.
Yeah. St. Louis in Texas, in Arlington.
Yeah,
not
Texas.
Great.
Nah. And that's toward the end of the year. I think that's the
very
final.
end. Yep, that's the very end. Otherwise, San Fran and Arizona.
San Francisco would be cool.
San Fran, Arizona is back-to-back as well at the middle of August.
Oh, where do we squeeze in Vegas? Like San Francisco, then 2. I took a trip. Never forget it. Was wild. Went to San Francisco to a conference there. Went down to LA for a night. Zipped over to Vegas for a couple. Well, you're in the neighborhood. You got to go there. Zipped over to Vegas for a couple of nights. Then went down to Dallas to see the Packers take on the Cowboys. And then back up to St. Louis, Chicago, and back home. All the way around the Midwest and West. Just scooped all the way around.
The 414 just texted in and said, I'm going to the San Diego day game, fly in the morning, and red-eye back for work the next day.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not sure I'm up to doing that.
I mean, for as inexpensive as you can find a flight these days, sometimes you can still get great deals. Maybe you do something like that. We had a caller into the post-game show a couple of weeks ago that, it was during the Cardinal series. They're third shift workers, and they went to the day game in St. Louis. They got off work in the morning and just drove to St. Louis, caught the game. After the game, drove straight back. I think they lived in Kenosha, as a matter of fact. And then went back to work that night.
Oh, that's crazy.
And they drove.
That's crazy.
Yeah, sports trips they can be really, really cool. London for a Packer game. People did that. So I think they were in London, right?
Yeah. Yep. A couple of years ago. Yep.
A few years ago. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. It's the Wisconsin Wake Up Call. There is Aaron Morse. My name is Tim Allen, in for Josh today in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is proudly outfitted by Berghardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at bsg1881.com.
On that Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250. Throughout the morning here, we were talking about sports wagering, or just wagering in general as well, about your big hits. A friend of mine, her husband hit for 11,000 on the British Open yesterday, or is that do we call it the Open, right? Is that what they're calling it? I don't know.
The
but
Open.
11,000 on DraftKings. That's super cool. So we've been talking about that. The most I've ever hit was a slot machine for $4,050, and boy, is that sweet, holding your hand out. I remember, it was the whole process, and the attendant would come around and here's my ID and what's yours. So you got to fill out here's a clipboard, fill this out, and then I'll be right back. And I'm like, can we go? When he came back, I said, well, guys, can we hurry up the process here? What's next? And he goes, hold out your hand. Okay, this part I like. Set $4,100 bills in my hand and tapped it with a 50. It was beautiful. What do you have?
Someone said that they hit a $30,000 jackpot at Ho Chunk in the Dells.
Oh, $30,000.
Yeah. Said my daughter got sick. I went to pick up the meds. Meds weren't ready yet. Called wife, told her I was getting a bit to eat. Walgreens was 2 minutes from the casino. Hung up with wife, went to Ho Chunk, hit $30K within 5 minutes of sitting down. I had no idea how I was going to tell my wife because she thought I was eating. Needless to say, she was happy. That's Timbo Slice in Stally.
Timbo, good for you. Wow. I love that story.
Here's one, a gas station 20 years ago. Filled up at a gas station, Sturgeon Bay, came out $27. I had 30, so I said, give me $3 in megabucks. Put ticket in wallet.
No.
That was on a Friday. Forgot about it.
No.
Found it in wallet.
No.
Looked at numbers over and over. Matched first five. Was off one number. Kept looking, trying to turn it into the $1 million winner, but settled for 500.
Oh, man. Yeah, see, that would, oh, boy. Yeah, I do Mega Millions and Powerball and all that. I'll get into that, but I would hate to just have one number off of a life changer. Yeah. They just announced a big winner. One of the winners down south somewhere hit that 1.8 billion.
Ugh.
And they just announced who that was. It was like the mayor's kid. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And there's, within your means, again, I'll throw this out there, disclaimer. Some people do have some problems with it. I've experienced that in my personal life. It wasn't me, someone really close to me. And I've seen some financial destruction. So within reason, guys, keep it in check. You still have bills to pay. So keep that in mind. Hey, coming up next hour, technology, is it helping the game of baseball? We'll get into that. Also, Jack Stern, Brewer Fanatic, from Brewer Fanatic. He will join us. I think he's the youngest old guy in the sports industry. I'll make that make sense coming up when we talk to Jack Stern. Baseball coverage on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. We'll take a break, come back here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.